Hello, and I'm going to keep checking this thing and I'm going to test it because we had a faux pas and something happened and we had no sound. So I'm going to recap as soon as I can verify. How do I get to my own live? You can fast forward this to when you see me. Let's see, share. I'm going to get to my own live and make sure that I can hear me. Do-de-dee-dee-dee. Testing that live. Feeling so good. Happy in the neighborhood. And sometimes you just got to go for it. You got to do your best and forget the rest, as they say. We're going to go over here.
Your best.
And we have sound now. So let me tell you a quick recap of today's spin class. Now, if you're looking for the moves, I'm sweaty and I'm tired. I've been doing these moves. Go back to the other one. It has no sound, but you can follow along visually. But I did want to pop back on and give you a very quick recap of today's topic. Let me get the light on for you so we can at least have some good light. All right. Today's spin class was all about giving. And there was a general premise that I wanted to provide for you, which is when you are giving, there are 3 things you want to consider. Number 1, always make sure the gifts come from your heart. And I shared a beautiful and endearing Burning Man story about how gifting became a big deal to me. I'm going to give you the short version here, and one day I'll give you a longer version because my time is very short, and I wanted to catch this up since we didn't have sound. We're going to squeeze it in. So at Burning Man, at my very first Burning Man, I fell in love with gifting. Prior to that, I thought gifting was an ego thing. Like, oh, I like gifts. Well, you're materialistic. Wrong. What I learned is gifting is such a treasured, precious piece of ourselves that we share with another. And wow, how beautiful that is. And so I created for you these 3 things that you want to think about when you are giving, and knowing if you're using your resources, your time, energy, attention, and money, your team, when you're putting your team to work in the world, what are the things to consider? Number 1, is your giving coming from your heart? If you're giving from any other place, if you, what I said in our call, Christmatize the idea, then it's just going out and stress and struggle, got to find gifts because I'm supposed to give somebody something. No, gifting from the heart. Gifting when you see something and you think, wow, someone would love that. Or giving when you feel like this would add value or help in someone's life. So it's coming from your heart. Like it feels, if you can't tune in and be selfish about giving, then it's not the right giving. This is ego giving. But what I mean by selfish about giving is this fills me up. It makes me feel good to give. That's the first premise. Does it feel good to you to give it? And can you admit and acknowledge that? Because giving is really about you, not the person receiving. Secondly, be unattached. Never get attached to the outcome, the response, the whatever comes forward, the next steps. When you give, you have taken that part that you've taken something from your heart and you have put it into the world. Unattached, that's how giving works. If you become attached, now that giving can start to weigh on you. You have to track the results. You have to be mindful of what's going on. And if you become attached, it just really ruins the whole thing. So I want to invite you to give from the heart and be unattached to the outcome. And then the third piece of that is give what is sustainable and real and right for you. We can sometimes give way too much, go way too forward with our giving, and end up losing some of the value of that because we're over giving, and that selfless sacrificial giving. That's a construct of the world. I don't even recommend that. Giving comes from a sustainable place. If we cannot sustain it, then we're creating problems. And the example I gave earlier, which I believe is worth repeating, is that luckily my dad taught me this. Never give someone to anything that you can't afford to lose unless you're also willing to lose that friend. And I've practiced this in my life. I recommend it. If you have it to give and you give it to a friend, maybe they pay you back. But if they can't, if they won't, if they don't, would you sustain that friendship anyway? That's what I would say about giving to friends and others, that you've just got to be able to walk away from it. And if you are willing to give someone money that you can't afford to lose, I want you to understand that you are saying, I'm willing to give up this friendship if something goes wrong, right? Because if they put you in a bind, then you're going to feel in a bind. That it really does help hurt a friendship. So give from a sustainable place where you can understand that. And then if you do that, you can know without a shadow of a doubt. In my life, it's been tenfold. Maybe for yours, it's 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold. Don't let me squash your parade. But I have noticed sustainably in my life, when I give, it comes back to me tenfold. But what? Usually not from the source to which I gave. So when I'm giving, I know that if I give $10, I'm getting back at least 100, but usually not from the place I gave the 10. So really understand that when you're coming from a sustainable place, you get to let go of the concept of reciprocity and just trust and know that it's coming from somewhere. But again, if you gave because you wanted to look good in front of a crowd, I can't speak to that. I don't know if that activates forces for you. I can tell you that sustainably, over 30 years of studying money, studying people, watching, yes, 30, because I was doing this when I was a child. And what I found is that when those three things are held, the giving from the heart, the way at Burning Man, and everyone piles in all their things and they bring everything they need for survival, yet they take the time and energy to bring extra so that they can give to you. That's from the heart. That's like, I want you to have this. My dear friend brings chapsticks. She's a nurse. She cares about people's well-being, bringing chapsticks, right? So it's coming from the heart. And when we're unattached, not everyone wants a chapstick, and that's okay. And when we trust that it's coming back to us tenfold, in her case, we all love her, right? And she's an amazing person and she pours into others, and life gets to pour into her too from many other places. And we have gifts also that we've brought that we get to share, and she gets to take reward from that. So I'm not going to take up a lot of more time today because we did this already for 30 minutes. Something happened, and that's okay with the sound. But I wanted to get you the lesson because the lesson is important. And so if you're craving the fitness part, go back. I'm going to leave that video up even with no sound, and you can just follow along. Maybe you can put this video on while you follow along. I think this one's maybe 10 minutes. The other's more like 30. Just getting those fitness and weights in. But go out there, give from your heart, be unattached, and give from a sustainable way. And I promise you that's going to come back to you. Now, if you're looking for more tips, more advice, more support in spending and how you use your money effectively in the world, if you've come into some new money in some kind of way through business success, inheritance, even a lottery, it's okay. The first thing I want you to know is you deserve it. You are worthy of the money you have found. You are worthy of what you've created. You are worthy to use it. And the biggest thing I find is that people get scared once they've gotten some money and they're not used to having it. And maybe it's new to you to have this level. And even if you've had money in the past and you've up leveled, those are those conversations. I've studied money my whole life. I've had lots of money. I've had no money. I've had lots of money again. I've had no money again. I've had lots of money again. That's just the life of an entrepreneur. We go in cycles, and professors, let's face it, aren't like super rich by nature. So we have to create our wealth. And but as I've gone through that, what I have found and sustained is that through study, through practice, through focused attention, I'm really, really good with it. So while I haven't become the super master of like bringing it in and reeling it in, you have. And what I've been studying is what to do with it once we have it. And so that's where my expertise comes in. That's where I can help you. Next class, we're going to talk about the difference between saving, investing, and spending, and how to really know that the things you're spending on are done well, and how to maybe get a little mix of investing and spending so you can have some fun with your money while it's growing for you as well. But until next time, if you have some questions, DM me, reach out. You can go to drcrystalgifford.com. I'll leave some links in the whatever those comments for you to follow later on when I figure out how to do that. And just reach out. If you're looking for support, I am here to help guide you in that spending process to make sure that you are doing well with what you've created and that you are creating a life that you can love, a life that can mean something to you, and a life that will sustain you and bring more and more joy, more and more possibility. And if you're like me, more and more projects, because I work just to get projects in the world because I love creating. And so reach out, message me, follow me on IG, all the things so that we can create a communication and a conversation about what you're going to do with your money in the world and how you're going to be effective. Until next time, be safe, be loved, and know that your giving matters and you deserve everything you have and more. See ya.